Hello, Miriam. Oh, she doesn't have her mic turned on just yet. Hello, Miriam.
Hi. Let me just mute the. Yeah, let me mute that. All right. Hello.
How you doing tonight, then?
All right. So I had a topic I wanted to talk about. Let's see the best way to phrase this. So I've been thinking a lot lately. It kind of fits into having your own job. But I've been thinking a lot lately as a content creator about how a lot of the people in power, whether they're a boss or the client or the people who make the rules on YouTube, or even today, like seeing some of what the government was doing with the deepfake hearing, just like having people in power over your content that just don't make content themselves and obviously do not know what they're talking about and like how to deal with that. Because in the end of the day, you're going to have to work with other people and not everyone's going to be an expert, but people who don't even like spend the time to like do any research on it. Like, how do you, like, when you're like dealing with people who you have to deal with when making your content that just don't get what the issues actually are? Like, I just don't
You don't know how to deal
know
with
how
those
to go
people?
about, yeah.
Well, here's what I always
I'm
use,
seeing
and
it like on multiple.
I'm sorry, I walked all over you. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, well, my philosophy is this, right? Is one, you should never take financial advice from somebody who doesn't make as much as you do. Same holds true here. And we can be polite. It's like, yeah, you can tell me all you want to about how bad my channel is or what I need to do to improve it. But if you don't have the background to do that, then thank you very much. I'll either do what I'm doing or find somebody else who does. You know what I mean? It's exactly like looking for financial advice. Find somebody who's been in it a long time and is making money. Now, this is not a good example. I do give advice. I admit it, but I also give advice to some very large corporations for SEO, SEM, e-commerce, and I've been doing this probably as long as you've been alive. so I've got that. The only thing I don't have in the YouTube realm is a subscriber base yet, but I've only been doing this for like 7 months, so I'm sure that will come. Not only that, but I don't get to be in a niche, so I don't have the advantage of going over specific keyword phrases that not a whole lot of people search for call-in shows. My keyword phrases are all over the place, and I knew that going in. That's why I went in this hobby, not as a vocation. Did that help? Is that
A little, but like, okay, so maybe a better example based on what you said, like, what would you do if like these companies you work with, these large companies that like that's where your paycheck's coming from, and like if you have to deal with someone who at the end of the day they have to be satisfied, but they don't understand what it takes to actually create the content.
well, in that case, because that's a little different scenario.
Yeah.
One, I would make sure that the goals are clearly stated. It's like, okay, this is what you're saying I need to do. Tell me what you want as a result of this. And as soon as you have that goal, then you can figure out how best to get there. If they don't agree with it, then all you can do is argue your point. Say, well, this is why. This is my experience, my talents, and my whatnot has already proven this to be, or my research has proven this to be. If you don't want me to go down that road, let me know. But just know that you are changing the path of what I'm recommending, because they hire you for a reason. Not just for fingers and whatnot. They hire you because they want you to solve problems, whether they know it or not. But you got to know what those problems are. So
I mean, what's been scaring me lately is like you have cause I was thinking about like I wouldn't mind like having my own business, or I've been doing a lot of freelancing work. But at the end of the day, you still have a boss, even when you're your own boss. It's going to be the client, or with YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, all those people, like, they still influence your business if, like, you're on YouTube.
Yes, they do. And a lot of times.
And the problem is, like, they have so much power and they're not listening.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Well, let me give you the benefit of my years of consulting work with as a third party, with corporations, not as an FTE. The first thing I do is when they ask me, can you do this for us, right? And it might be something like, can you market this website? Can you build this website? That sort of thing. The first thing I ask them is, well, what do you want as a result of this? They tell me, and I said, well, here are my recommendations. Now, if they change that, the first thing I'll do is say, well, that's fine. You can change that all you want to, but here's what that means. Like, let's say, for instance, they wanted a flaming rotating logo on that new website. I would say, that's fine, but you're going to be looked at as though you haven't updated it since 1996. And that's going to result in lower, fewer visitors, fewer, a higher drop rate, and fewer conversions, which means you're not going to get the sales or the views or the downloads or whatever it is that the goal of that website is. So I'll be happy to do it for you, Mr. Client. But here's the consequences of your request.
Well, yeah, sometimes you gotta do that. Like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, like, even I got a project working in the background right now exporting, and the person sent me PDFs when they really should have sent me JPEG, so I just threw it in Photoshop real fast. Like, sometimes it's not that big a deal, but like, then you've got these really high up people that are kind of doing the same thing but slightly different, where it's not necessarily a client relationship, but it's got a similar effect in a sense.
Oh sure. But yeah, and that similarity is what you have to exploit, right? Because I always look at it that way, as I know best. You've asked me because you thought I knew best. Well, I'm telling you how I think it's going to be best. If you want to change that, then it's on you, and here's why. I know that's an overly simplistic answer, and I'm sorry for that, but that really is the long and the short of it, because ultimately you're going to be responsible for the work, and if you don't tell them what the downside to that is, and you go ahead and do it the way they want it, who's going to be looked at as the fail here, right? You are. You don't want that.
Yeah. I think really the thing is, like, I gotta find the right people to work with, because I'm kind of stuck in a weird situation right now where it's like, I have some experience, like I've been doing this for 7 years, but my skill level isn't what it should be, because a lot of the people I've worked with don't necessarily work in any of these industries, like photography or filmmaking or editing or anything like that themselves. So what happens is, like, I'll volunteer, I'll get hired to do something for someone who doesn't know how to do it themselves. So I'm not boosting my skills enough. So then when I try to, like, work for someone who doesn't know what they're doing, they're like, well, you're not qualified.
Oh, that's yet another problem.
Yeah, I'm stuck in between, because I'm not quite entry level. Like, I'm a little higher than that, but I'm not quite, like, qualified either for a lot of these jobs that I've been looking at. Because, people want to, like, especially with this creative work, they want to see your portfolio. Well, like, I haven't made a short film in, like, almost 2 years now, because I keep editing other people's stuff. And even if I wanted to make my own short film, like, you have to get the people together, you have to get, like, the funding for it. It's not that easy. So, like, all my work right now is very outdated.
Yeah, that happens. Well, let me ask you this: the subject of the show tonight is dream jobs. I'm guessing that you don't think you're in your dream job, or?
Well, I think the bigger issue for me is, like, I almost can't think about passions right now when I'm trying to, like, worry about paychecks and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even at that level. Like, like, there's kind of, like, almost a stereotype with, like, people around my age that they're looking for their passion job and they're not willing to put in the work. I'm willing to put in the work. People aren't willing to hire me. Because they're like, well, you're in college, come back when you actually graduated. And it's like, okay, like, they'll hire high school students, but they won't hire people who are in college.
That seems odd.
I've gotten that a couple times now, where it's like, there's certain programs for high school students and there's certain programs for college students, but who have just graduated or who are seniors, or, like, I'm cut in between the age groups for a lot of things. And also my school doesn't follow the normal semesters, so that also messes me up for a lot of internships. So I'm really struggling to, like my resume is pretty full. Like, that's not even the issue. It's more like the skills that I'm trying to build at this point. Like, I've had job experience, but like, you know, even just I took an editing class last term with this like Emmy nominated editor that works at my college. And it turned out that I was syncing audio completely wrong when I took her class. I've been syncing audio for years and I was doing it completely wrong. I mean, the way I do it works, but she explained why, like, when you do it that way, you actually have trouble if you made a mistake fixing it versus her way.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool.
So that's the thing.
Sounds like very valuable information. Yeah, yeah. Well, you're at that strange age where, yeah, like right in between.
Yeah, and you know, when the bills come, they don't care what age you are, you know.
How true. And believe me, I get it, because I've been there. I want to say several times in my life. So it's but it does get better. I mean, the more experience and those things that you were just saying a minute ago about how you know, you struggle with some things because it may not even be in your wheelhouse and they've been asked to do it. Well, if you always get better at those. I always found that a wonderful thing. Like, I don't know if you watched my my last jobs video, but I was talking about how I got into where I'm at now, right? Because I didn't start out in IT at all. I was actually an electrical engineer, both in and out of the military. And then I got into, actually, I was just doing web design as a hobby. And then the television station I was working at decided they wanted a website like everybody else did in 95, 96.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my job stuff open too, because it's like, even if you were to narrow it down, because I think what I've been gravitating towards is content creation and social media marketing, but even that's kind of broad, and I purposely leave it broad because even like I'm freelancing for this one person now, and one time they told me to take event photos, another time they wanted help editing their website. They don't even want the same thing every time.
Of course. Well, welcome to that. Humans being what they are.
Yeah, I still can't get over this one job wanted me to edit without editing software, and they didn't know what Adobe was. But it's like, but that's what obsessed me, is like, you have those people and like, okay, when the morning I was watching the House hearing on the deepfakes, it made me really upset, even though like they weren't actually passing any legislation, because they were equivocating color grading with like harmful, misleading content, and I was just like, what? That makes no sense. Like, it was people who clearly never edited a video in their life talking. They're like, well, why don't we just regulate people's access to editing software? And I'm like, yes, we need to do something about some of these like social media platforms, but like, don't take away my Adobe apps, you know?
Well, and it doesn't work like that, right? None of this. What was that commercial?
It doesn't make any sense, because like everyone color grades. You're gonna mark all color grading as fake news, like that aren't even news posts. Like, it makes no sense. But that's what I mean. You got like these people who are high up that have no personal experience with it, but they're still affecting your livelihood.
Welcome to the real world. That's all I can say. That does not get any better, because there's always people, especially in politics, that will inject their opinion on subjects they have not a friggin' clue about. And it's as rampant in the corporate world as it is anywhere. Sorry, hon. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. Oh, it's.
I'm just trying to break through a little bit, because I'm just stuck right now. It's like a lot of places, they're just like, come back to us later, you know?
Yeah. I know. But you're young. You've got so much time to figure out where that break is going to be. And that was kind of the reason I had this subject for tonight, because, you know, you said you're stereotyped, your generation's stereotyped for following their dreams. Well, I honestly think the stereotype's not a good thing, but actually trying to follow your dreams is a great thing. It doesn't mean that, you know, we're all going to, I don't know, be able to sit in a recliner for a living, if that's your dream. What it means is, think about that thing that you really enjoy doing, and then find a niche somewhere for that. And if you recognize it early, Write it down. Use it as one of your bucket list goals. Then you'll actually get move toward that goal, whether you realize it or not. And it may be a totally different job, but somewhere in that niche. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting is I thought, and then I saw how the industry treats it. So, like, I really loved video editing. I've loved it since middle school. I still love it to an extent.
Mhm.
But when I actually did like industry type video editing using the filmmaking like process that a lot of like people in Hollywood use, I was like, I don't like this anymore. Editing a trailer was hell. My editing teacher made us go through so many re-edits, and she still said I had one of the better trailers, and I was like, this was not enjoyable. I mean, maybe with practice it would be, but like also it was just like very, very difficult without much reward.
Oh yeah. When you get into the big leagues on video editing, it is tough. It is really, really tough. A lot to think about. I envy those sort of people that have that sort of passion for, sitting down and concentrating on that sort of thing for hours, if not days, weeks, and sometimes months. So
well, I think also I realized that I'm better at like the technical part than the artistic part, which I thought I was good at the artistic part. But like I run out of ideas too fast. And yeah, that'll probably come with practice. But like I'll be staring at the screen and be like, how do I make this better? I know it's not good enough, but like I'm out of ideas.
Sure. Well, you got to look for inspiration. That's what I would do. And there's no shortage of that.
Well, a lot of it is just keep practicing. I mean, that's why I keep with YouTube with all the annoyance that it can cause is like at least I'm editing a video or two a week,
Yep.
Like it gives me an excuse to even, because there was a point where I took a large break from my channel because I was annoyed with YouTube. And my editing skills actually went downhill because I was forgetting how to use Premiere because I hadn't used it in a couple like months, and I was like, huh?
Yeah.
How does this work again? So at least it like makes me like look at the editing software, it makes me try out new features, and if I get nothing else out of it, at least it's practice.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to leave you with this because this really helped me find out what I really love doing, both in the professional world and my hobby. If you really truly enjoy the outcome, right? You like to sit back and look at the product you've created, the video you've created, the spreadsheet, the report, the event that you're managing or something like that. If you truly honestly enjoy the results of the fruits of your labor, that's probably the one you should look for. And not only that, if you concentrate on the end, then the process throughout becomes easier. I hope that helps.
No, it's good to talk about, like, especially with people who actually do it. Like, I'll talk to people in my life about, like, the struggles of being a media creator, and they're like, sorry, like, at a certain point, they're not giving helpful advice just because they're not in it,
Yes.
Like, they'll give very basic advice, and it's just like, thanks, but, like, I've already tried that.
Yeah. I always just smile and thank them, and then, go on about my merry way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Miriam. It's always a pleasure. I'm so glad you actually did decide to come back on. I wanted to talk to you about, whatever you wanted to talk about. I hope I helped, dude. I hope I helped.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it's just persistence and meeting the right people. I'm
Yes.
hoping that when I go to VidCon, it will spark some things, because either it'll draw people to my channel, or even if I just find some people to do work for, I don't mind that either. I like freelancing as long as right.
Okay, you broke up there, but
I did?
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's okay.
I was just saying, I'm hoping that going to VidCon like sparks some stuff. Either draws people to my channel, or I'll find some people that might be willing to let me freelance for them. So
There you go. Well, I'm going to wish you luck on that. And of course, you'll have to come back on and tell us how it went.
Well, that won't be for another month, though.
Okay, well, you'll be back on before then, right?
We'll see.
Oh, cool. Well, thanks again, Miriam.
All right. Have a good evening.
You too, hon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You too could be a guest on this show at any time. We're live every weeknight, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you've got to do is hit that subscription button and ring that bell right now. Oh, And while you're at it, why not share this video? I'm sure my guests would appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you live.